Alright, part 15. Let's make our character level up a little bit better to where their health and strength and all that actually goes up. So I'm going to right click my player, go to edit, and in our gain experience function, which is over here, if it's not up here, I'm going to, at the very end, actually not at the very end, I'm going to do it right here in the middle. I'm going to box select all that, control left click those to deselect, drag that way the heck out over here. And I'm going to drag out a set base strength, which you can hold Alt and drag out if you want to just do an automatic set. So I'm going to Alt, drag out max health, Alt, drag out max mana. We already got that one. Alt, drag out defense. I'm going to hook that to that, that to that, tidy it up, drag that up, hook that to that, and that to that. Now holding control, base strength, I'm going to drag out base strength while holding control. And max health, control, drag out max health, control, max mana, control, defense. Okay, you go. Let's separate these out just a little bit further. Okay. So max mana over here, max health right here, defense right here. If you box select one thing and then hold control and box select another thing, it'll all be highlighted instead of losing your highlight, like doing it like this. Just FYI. So off of base strength, we'll drag off, do a, actually no, off of base strength here, we'll drag off and do a plus integer. And for base strength, I'm going to drag off the bottom one, do a random integer in range. Just that way it goes up by like a little random amount every time. So the minimum will be 1, and the max for strength, I'm going to say 1 to 3. That way a little bit of variety. And same thing with max health. Drag off, do a float plus float. Drag off the bottom one, random float in range. And for that one, I'm going to do between, let's say, 3 and 10. Now with the floats off of this one, you want to drag off and do a round. That'll make it the, that way you don't have health being like 57.089 or whatever. It'll just round it up, or round it to the closest number and make it that way. So drag that back a little bit, just so I can drag that back a little bit. One more time. Now for max mana, same deal. Float plus float. Random float in range. And for this one, I'm going to do the same numbers, 3 to 10. Round. Hook that up. Kind of scoot all this back just a little bit. And for defense, integer plus integer, drag off the bottom, random integer in range. And for this one, I'm going to say between 1 and 5. What was the first one? Between 1 and 3, 1 and 5. Yeah, because this is going to be, yeah. The defense setting will, it'll be a convoluted math thing later. Not too bad, but it'll be divided by a certain amount. so that we don't subtract that much from the damage, but it'll always kind of, as it improves, you'll take less damage. So back that up, and it should be good to go. Let's test it out. Ooh, wait a minute. Let's move you over here just so they don't automatically see you. Play. I'm going to check my stats. Level 1, HP 50, 30, 2. Let's go kill some people. Alright, now let's check our stats. HP 59, and 43, 5, and 7. So cool. Now our character's leveling up right. And that still works fine. So cool beans. Okay, and that was pretty quick. Yeah, we're only 6 minutes in, so let's do one more thing. What was it? What was the thing I wanted to do also this time? Save all of them, or try to remember. Oh, yeah, let's add another interactable. Maybe like a plant that we can harvest. That'll be the startup for our crafting thing later on. So in our interactable menu, let's do a new folder called Harvestables. And we'll right click, new folder, call this one Plants. New folder, this one Animals. So Plants, right click, blueprint class of an actor. I'm gonna just call it green plant. You can call it, you can call it whatever you like. Underscore BP. That's not important, really. I just like to differentiate. So for this one, let's see what we're going to be using. Static mesh. For this one, there are a few good plants in here, but I found one last time that I really liked that made decent sense for a green plant. Because it was a green plant. I forget where it was. I think it was in the grass pack of the Infinity Blade asset, but I'm not completely sure. So when you want to find all of your static meshes all at once, you can just click the content, the filter, static mesh, and this will be every static mesh you have. So that wasn't the one I used, but that might, oh, was it you? No, it wasn't you. Might be you this time. Cause I ain't seeing the one I used last time. Oh. Was it you or you? It was this one last time, so that is Plains Fern 04, and that is in the Infinity Blade Grasslands pack, Plains and Vine Flora. So if you want to find it easier, it is in the Infinity Blade Grasslands, and if you just click that whole folder, it'll bring up everything. And there it is again. And there's a few others if you want to pick a different one. We'll be using that one as a yellow plant later on. But for now, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to right click, browse to asset. Sorry. I didn't open my plant. So now I'll right click, browse to asset, go here, and add a component of a static mesh. Compile, add a component of a sphere collision, which I want to be about 100. 100 seems decent. In the event graph, delete these two, begin play, cast to player BP, get player character, and player ref, promoted to a variable of player ref. Alright, and now we want to, class settings. We want to add that interface, the interact BPI, because we want to be able to call that interact function. So type in interact, get the event interact, make sure it says the target is the interact BPI. Okay, and we want to drag off and, no, we need to set up some stuff inside our player. So we'll add a variable called harvest current, make that a float, compile, right click, duplicate, and call it harvest max, just because we're going to add a bar on screen that'll fill up as you get closer and closer. So we'll drag off the player, set our harvest current to 0. That way every time you walk up to one and try to harvest it, it automatically goes to 0 and the bar fills up appropriately. And we're going to create one more variable in here called harvesting and make it a Boolean. This will affect our bar and make it to where it pops up on screen and disappears appropriately. So we will drag off and get harvesting, set harvesting. Set it to true. Double click and you can add one of those box selected queue and you can line them up. And now we're going to add a custom event called harvest. I'm going to drag that out and set it at the end of it. You don't really have to, I just like doing it this way for some reason. So we're going to drag off and set harvest current to a float plus a float. We need to set our harvest max to 1 because it doesn't really need to be too crazy. We'll get harvest current. Drag that back a little ways, hook that to the top, and we'll set it to be, we'll drag this off and do a promote to variable and call it harvest speed. And I'm going to default that to 0.05 for now. And drag that up. Actually, drag that down. Drag you over, drag off, do a get harvest max. Off of this one, I'm going to find out if it's greater than or equal to harvest max. Branch, branch, hook that up, and if false, then we're going to call our harvest function again. If true, then we are going to set harvest, right off the player ref one more time. Can't affect the player ref without dragging them out first. Set harvesting to false. And in our player one more time, we're going to add another one called green plants. Set of an integer. Then we will get green plants plus integer. And then we will set green plants. That way we can set it to our updated number. Boom. We can actually promote this off to a variable. We'll do that later on though when we start messing with the skill tree, because we'll make it to where you can upgrade how fast they harvest things or how many they get from each time they harvest. And then after it does this, at the very end, you want to make sure this one's at the very end so that everything fires off before it does it. Then destroy actor of self. Okay. Now one more. What? Oh, stupid. Okay. So in our HUD element, we want to go to our player HUD, and I'm going to drag off another progress bar. And I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to shrink it down and set it up like that. I want to make its bar fill type under progress be from bottom to top. That way it fills up like that. You can do it just like one of these, or you can do it however you want. I'm going to just do it this way. For mine, I'm going to make it... I'm just going to leave it the color it is. Why not? I'm going to create a binding, drag it out, get harvest current, get harvest max. Remember, you got to divide these in order to get a value of 1, which actually will only ever return a value of 0 and 1, so actually I think that one can just go like that. We'll test it real quick. But back in our designer, we want its visibility, which is behavior, visibility. We want it to be bound to a branch. Control C, Control V. We can copy that and paste that. Set the false to hidden and drag out our player ref and get harvesting. Because we only want this bar to be visible if they're harvesting. If not, we don't want it on screen. So that should be it. Save all. Interactables, harvestables, plants. I'm going to drag you out up here and delete all you fellas. Oh, one more thing just for testing purposes. I'm going to drag off it. Wait, what is this text block for? Get text 3. What is get text 3? Oh, magic mode, right, okay. So I'm going to drag off another text block right underneath. I'm going to bind, create binding, player ref, drag off, get green plants. That way we can just kind of keep track, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it automatically jumps up to 1 automatically. Why? Why you do this? Oh, okay. You off of your false before it calls this again. You want to add a delay. Otherwise, it's just going to shoot through it. So delay, and we will promote that to a variable called harvest. Okay, this one actually needs to be. Let's change this harvest speed to be harvest rate, and this one to be harvest speed. Those basically mean the same thing, don't they? But it works. Harvest speed, harvest rate, harvest speed 0.2, and then harvest. That might be a bit long. Let's change that to 0.1. So I'm going to set a few more of these around real quick. I'm going to do that. Oh, if you have something floating above, like say you got this floating in the air, you can hit end on the keyboard next to the delete and page down, and it'll snap it to the to the ground beneath it. I like to do that with my character sometimes. When I'm making terrains, I'll just drag them in the air and then hit end, and it snaps them right there. So things to keep in mind. Now let's check out. Alright, we can harvest green plants now. It's a little bit blocky moving. Let me see if I can. Let's change the harvest rate to 0.01 and the harvest speed to 0.05. Oh, that's not a number right there. 0.05. That way it kind of maybe fills up a little bit smoother. Boy, that'd be slow. That do be slow. So let's set the harvest rate to 0.02 and this to 0.03. Probably be on the same thing and just affect one variable, but we'll just have it separated out for now. There we go. Now we can harvest some plants. That'll go for our crafting system later. But yay, it's starting to come together. So good deal. See, that's the power of those blueprint interfaces. Using the same button, you can do all that. So I love those things. But that's it for this one. Hopefully this didn't run too long, 21 minutes. But yeah. Next time we'll start expanding on our menu a little bit more. Make it to where we have our equipment screen. We'll start adding in some weapons chests so that our character can gain more equipment and change out their weapon. And then we'll add some crafting screen so we can start crafting our potions and stuff. So yeah, but that's it for this one. So appreciate you stopping by. Check you on the next one. Later.